Hi everybody, I'm Barry John, and welcome to Homeworld. This is the second Skirmish video, and I brought some co-commentators. Everybody introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm
Production
Zebrin,
underway.
and I'm here to comment on some banana ship action.
Commencing capital ship drive. Commencing capital ship drive research.
I got two more of you guys, so...
I'm
Commencing
Durian.
capital
I'm
ship
here
drive
to say some
Group
things
1
about
designated.
things, and that's how it goes down.
And I'm Corbeau, and I was
Mothership.
just waiting for everyone to go before me.
We noticed.
Because I'm
Destination
that way.
confirmed.
Well, welcome to the Skirmish video, and as you can see, I'm pulling out the mothership instead of going with the carrier only. And I've got my scouts just flying around now.
You've
Wasting no
Capital
time.
No
ship
time
drive
at all. You're
research.
really
Support
aggressive with
frigate
these things, I
available for
noticed.
construction. Resource controller available for construction.
I'm just
Commencing
letting people
capital
know ahead of
ship
time,
chassis
I'm
research.
doing a capital ship
Commencing capital
only
ship chassis
run for the most
research.
part. Basically, I'm focusing on destroyers with a few frigates and
Resource
heavier
collector
ships.
complete.
It makes a lot of sense since you can show all the other stuff with the other video. Frigate down.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, I was
Construction
never
commencing.
good at Homeworld. I played a fair amount of the campaign, but I never played much of the skirmish. And while this game is fascinating with the three-dimensionality of its gameplay, I never really learned how well it stands up in the sort of traditional
Mothership underway.
RTS sense.
I just love that you can move the banana ship around now.
What,
So-
what do you mean by that? Like
It's really
in comparison,
slow,
like
but-
Command and Conquer, or
In comparison to a traditional RTS balance system and gameplay, I was at the time used to stuff like Warcraft 2 and then StarCraft had just come out before Homeworld. So that was kind of the mindset I went into it with, and it just blew my mind so much having the additional dimensions and then the story of the
Resource
campaign
collector
actually
complete.
worked astonishingly well,
mm-hmm.
that I never really got around to playing it as an RTS so much as just playing the campaign.
Well, you can see there that there's the toaster.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
You can see why people go after the
Resource
banana
controller
ship.
complete.
You know, I always love the tie-down ship designs. They're brilliant. I think they're fantastic. I think they're so much better than the Kushan ones, except for the mothership.
Yeah. That's a pretty common belief.
The only thing the toasters really got going for it is they don't have to have that giant bay door there open up every time you build a cap ship.
Yeah.
Capital ship chassis research. Assault frigate available for commencing
So you got
ion
five,
cannon. Commencing
no,
ion
4
cannon
research stations already going here.
You start with
What's
that.
that about?
Group
Yeah.
one
Oh, yeah?
Yep, you
combat
start with
stations.
4 of those 5 scouts,
Production
the
underway.
mothership, and 2 resources.
God, it's been so long since I played Skirmish.
Well, it's just because they found that a lot of people just build the same things to start with, and by including them in the initial setup, you get yourself, well, you save about 5 minutes.
And it gets to the fight a lot faster. Nice clash. Nice crash there.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Resource controller complete.
We'll be
That's
seeing
some pinball with strike-craft going down.
we'll be seeing a lot of bumper boats in this video, I think.
Group 1 reporting enemy contact.
I don't think he's going to be doing much in the way of strikecraft, so
Mothership in
really.
position.
It's all going to be a bunch of battle on ship of the line battles.
Well, it also depends on what the enemy AI decides to build.
Speaking of AI, what really strikes me watching Homeworld again after all this time, at the time it never occurred to me to even think about this, but now, oh my god, who had to write all of the AI for just ship movement? Just ship movement, and collision detection, and collision avoidance.
That's
I don't
a
know.
lot of writing
I-
there, you know. You got a point
I
there.
do not envy their
Resources
task.
exhausted. Construction paused.
No. But I do like one of the things about this game's multiplayer AI
Mothership.
is that the AI for this particular game in multiplayer
Mothership
actually
coordinates
uses
locked in.
tactics developed by humans for their multiplayer. Like they had people play against each other in multiplayer, and then they took certain workable tactics and hard-coded them as, you know, plans that the
Mothership
AI will
underway.
invoke.
So build plans, movement. be less of a thing, though.
I think that's usually how a lot of game developers do AI. They pit player versus player initially and then see how that pans out and then model the AI after that.
It makes sense. I mean, we're still not quite there with fuzzy logic for actual AIs. Most of them can't do anything except brute force without it.
But now I'm just waiting for my assault frigates to build.
Yeah, I noticed you got a support there too, right?
Ion cannon research. Ion cannon frigate available commencing super capital ship drive research.
So, I have to admit, I was a little disappointed back in the day, because, you have frigates, and corvettes, and cruisers, and destroyers, and all these ship classes, and I remember thinking, oh man, what's a battleship got to be like? That's got to be cool.
And then there isn't one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just kind of curious about something. You're always researching the same thing 4 times
confirmed.
over. Yeah, because every time you activate a research, it assigns that research to the next research ship that's available. So by researching something 4 times, I'm telling all 4 of my research ships to do it.
Yeah, I know that. I'm thinking more along the lines of, I'm wondering why you decide to research all of the same thing on all 4 sections. I usually will go 2-2.
Oh, it gets done faster. Oh. Just personal preference in that regard.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you may have noticed I set the mothership to not launch any strike craft that gets built. This is going to bite me in the ass a little bit later on.
Oh, you just love that option. I mean, it makes sense in the if you're under attack and you have to, and if you just send out 1 at a time, it's going to end up killing them. But it does bite you in the ass if you forget you do it.
Yeah. Going straight for resource control.
Assault
Is there any other way?
The first hallmark of a RTS game.
Well, you know what? I always just turtled it and built a whole ton of multi-gun
Group
corvettes
2 designated.
and just sat around on my ass and let them fling things at me and capture them with salvage corvettes because that's just how I like to do it.
Well, that's pretty clear to the game's mechanics, I guess. That's how we play the campaign, at least.
I don't do a lot of capturing in multiplayer.
I must have been... Sorry.
Yeah, I don't capture multiplayer, you're saying?
I must have been bizarre then in the campaign. I must have been the only Homeworld player who didn't like to capture stuff in the campaign.
You heretic.
I don't know, it didn't occur to me in some ways. It's like, oh man, that seems really situational. It would be totally busted if you could just salvage everything. So it's probably pretty, restricted in what you can get, and I just never really explored it. Because, that would be broken.
It's beautiful how it's not restricted in any way whatsoever.
Except by the amount of corvettes you can cram on that ship.
Super
Exactly.
ship drive research.
Just go straight above the unit cap and keep on going.
Destroyer available
I just
for construction.
love
Group
the
2
fact that
reassigned.
once it gets in the mothership, you basically just recrew it with the people that are in the cryogenics, I guess. I think that's how they said it was done.
Yep.
So you're pulling off a bunch of people that volunteered for, a trip to their homeworld, expecting, maybe a little bit of conflict along the way. Instead, they're on this interstellar warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up!
By the way, everyone else you ever knew is dead,
Yep.
so... And we're about to all die. Get in that ship now.
But I'm a middle manager. I don't know how to.
You'll learn fast. You get 5 ships, 5 what are they, assault frigates, and you put on 1
Assault frigate complete.
support, right?
Yep.
I've always liked that kind of thing, putting a 5-to-1 ratio on those.
Backup assigned to Group 2.
So why did you choose X?
Because it was different. And having 5 of them means that the wall formation looks ugly. And besides, an X like this with just the 5 ships pretty much is a wall.
True.
You make a good point.
Support command acknowledged.
I do have to admit, some of the Kushan ships are growing on me. I actually like they look very fish-like.
Yeah.
They
Just
do
like
have
a
that.
swarm of barracuda out there.
Report acknowledged.
So
Well, these guys finally ran down that scout
Initiated.
all the way to the edge of the freaking map.
there's all this
Oh, that's
extra.
what they were up to?
I love how there's all this extra map out there that has nothing in it. It's just there.
Group 2 reporting.
If you
Guided
want to play a
missile
game of cat and
research.
mouse, you
Missile
can certainly
destroyer
do that
available
way
for
out in the
construction.
outskirts.
Yeah, but most of the fight's going to come over the resources. So
That is, unless you play a different
Carpe
resource
diem.
model mode.
Yeah, there
Or
is
if you
a
do the... Yeah, go ahead.
there is options to play Carpe Diem, or bounties, which means every ship you blow up gives you
Commencing
resources,
drone technology.
and
Commencing
you can
drone
also set the
technology
game
research.
to disable resourcing. Instead, just
Commencing drone
arbitrarily give
technology
all
research.
players certain amounts of resources every so often.
a bunch of different options. It's kind of cool. There goes the controller.
Well, the controller, no. Yeah.
Now here goes the collector.
So,
Yep.
there
I
you
always
go
like
now.
those twin tails coming out the back of the collectors.
I think
Yeah.
I remember hearing somebody in the forum. They said that they managed to steal one of the resource controllers early game.
Hmm.
Apparently, their opponent wasn't expecting it at all.
Oh, in a multiplayer match, you mean?
Yeah. I mean,
That sounds
yeah, you just
It sounds great.
there's the cloud.
Standing by.
Yep, dust cloud coming from an exploding collector. And now just chasing down these ships.
Speaking of engine trails, they blew my mind back when I first played this game. I had no idea that you could actually do that with graphics and on 3D and like this. I was pretty young at the time, but I spent way too long just building huge fleets of strike fighters and watching them swarm around things ineffectually.
It's definitely one of the most beautiful things I've seen, especially when everything blows up at the end.
And it really
And
puts
as I
it
recall,
really
the
makes
multiplayer
fighter
you-
furballs into a spectacle.
As I recall, in multiplayer, you could select your color scheme,
Mm-hmm.
and that would also
Construction
change the color of your
commencing.
engine trails.
Yep,
Yep.
I usually went blue.
Yeah, the engine trail, I think, is the stripe color
Yep.
of your scheme.
Next skirmish video I'm going to be mixing up the colors and going a little bit out. I do have to note,
Drone technology
Right.
research complete.
destroyer and 2
Drone
assault
frigate
frigates.
available for
Oh
construction.
boy.
Air formation confirmed.
And the sphere.
Group 2 to
Although, a sphere, given it's only 5 assault frigates,
It will make it harder for the destroyer to bring its guns to bear.
mhm.
Oh, it's got a buddy.
Dude, this might not be the best idea.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
What, taking 6 frigates up against a couple of destroyers
And 4
about 4 other frigates?
Yeah.
Right next to the enemy's base of production?
Mhm.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
But this does tell me what the enemy AI is doing. Same thing I'm doing.
Commencing super heavy chassis research.
Which is awesome,
Commencing
because that means
super
we're going to
heavy
see some ship
chassis
in the line
research.
action.
Oh,
There's
what?
the missiles.
Yep, as a note, 1 support frigate cannot keep up the
lost.
damage of 2 ion frigates, 2 assault frigates, and a destroyer on a single ship.
under attack.
I wonder why.
I wonder how many you would need to actually do that.
Frigate lost.
Yeah, at this point I
Production
just pretty much,
underway.
wrote off the attack
Construction
force
commencing.
there as not
Yeah,
getting it
it's
back.
screwed.
Now, if I was a really smart player, I'd just turn around and start building lots of bombers
Mothership
and maybe
is
something
around.
to take care of that missile frigate or missile destroyer.
Group 2 reporting enemy contact.
But you're not a really smart player. At least, Not right now.
No, I'm also, playing
Frigate
for the LP
lost.
rather than, playing
Like-
for.
You're putting style over substance.
Mhm.
I mean, that's probably why you put a brain dead AI on the last thing.
Mhm. This AI is actually set to average rather than
Destroyer complete.
anything else.
Group 2 reporting enemy contact.
Of course, I've also only put one enemy ship in, so.
Alert.
Ooh!
Frigate lost. Super heavy chassis insert.
Okay,
carrier.
that was new.
Retreat.
Support
So
frigate
speaking
complete.
about collision
Commencing
detection
heavy
and
gun
avoidance
research.
routines, one thing I
Missile
never
destroyer
really
complete.
grokked when I was playing the game
Drone frigate
was
complete.
all of the
Frigate
different
lost.
combat roles for the different ships you can build,
Group 2
because there are
has
quite a
been
few,
defeated.
but a lot of them seem,
Acknowledged.
I don't know, slightly redundant.
Well, redundancy.
Like an assault frigate doesn't seem amazing against small craft, so a lot of the times I would think an ion frigate would do whatever job you're trying to accomplish better.
Well, it also has to do a lot of when you get them in the campaign.
Drones away.
But the assault frigate. Ooh, wait, never mind. The drone frigate just deployed.
Receiving.
I always thought the drone frigate was a great idea, but it just doesn't work out
No.
that well.
No.
It certainly looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a long time for it to recall them, though.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you watch it, you can actually see that all of the drones have their own independent base.
Support frigate complete.
Oh.
It's actually pretty cool. So, what kind of end game are you going after? I mean, aside from obviously large ships, but what kind of fleet are you going for?
Basically, knowing that the enemy is building frigates and destroyers, I'm just going to outgun them at their own game.
So, it's symmetrical warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Collector under attack.
Wait up.
Awaiting assignment.
And there goes.
Group 2 assigned.
Intercept course punched in.
Are they collecting your collectors?
Standing by. Responding.
Oh no, there's a fighter there.
Locked on target. Receiving.
We haven't seen the drone
No.
frigate in the LP yet, have we?
I don't normally play the drone frigate in the LP because
Resourcer
it's
under attack.
really.
Kind of crap.
Yeah. Yes.
Rubbish.
Destroyer complete.
Controller under attack. Request a report. Awaiting assignment.
When we get to Cataclysm, though,
Mm-hmm.
that'll change.
But right now, just watching the missile frigate do its thing.
Oh, yeah. You gonna show off the dump the
Yep,
load?
but not right now.
Kind of figured.
Missile destroyer has to be one of my favorite units in the game, considering, you get a whole ton of pretty contrails. That and it has a pretty straightforward, obvious niche.
Acknowledged. Receiving.
Area denial.
Reporting. Ready for orders.
Strike craft
Yep.
murder.
Oh wow, I almost
Resourcer
forgot there were
scanner
those little
complete.
electrical arcs in the gas clouds.
Oh yeah, I've actually never noticed those.
I set this up here like this because I wanted to give the drones a chance to do their work, but yeah, they're not doing all that well.
Yeah. No. The fact of the matter is it's pretty much supposed to be, I guess, an anti-fighter
Mhm.
thing, but the range is too small for it to even
Yeah,
do
and
that.
the multi-gun Corvette and the missile destroyer are just so much better at the role. It's
Group 2.
Group 2 reinforced.
Yeah.
They do the job a hell of a lot better.
Better, faster, don't worry about the rest of the crap.
Establishing X formation.
More
Heavy gun
armor,
armor,
research
more
complete.
range.
well in the case of the destroyer.
Heavy cruiser available for construction.
Kind of sad because the idea is
Yep,
awesome.
and I heard the most glorious words I could have heard in this particular
And
7
It's time.
minutes construction
Production
time.
underway.
every second worth it.
Awaiting assignment.
These we have
No,
also not
haven't
seen in
gotten
the
to that
LP
point
proper,
yet.
correct?
Not yet.
Also note the frigate moves faster when the drones aren't deployed because, well, the drones don't have to keep up with it.
Support is on the way. Hang in there. Support is on the way. Command received.
I'm surprised you just retired the thing after you're done with it.
Have to,
Well, you can use it as a blade of armor.
have to pretend that it is useful somehow.
Understood.
I think that is the only thing that's useful in this game.
Let's talk about the Taidan counterpart to the drone frigate.
Commencing
That is the
gravity
only.
generator.
Each
Commencing
side only has
gravity
one
generator
unique
research.
vehicle.
Research halted.
The
Commencing
opposing one is the
cloak
field
generator
frigate, which I tried to display in the previous skirmish
Commencing
video.
cloak generator research.
Yeah,
Oh, I missed that.
the one that.
Yeah, in practice, that was one thing that Homeworld was a little bit lacking.
Well, it helped
was,
with it helped
faction
with
diversity.
player balance.
Oh,
More
yes,
than a little
it's-
bit lacking.
A mirror match is very balanced, only there's not much in the way of choice between things except when it's all artistic. So.
Setting up. Thank you.
They don't even have different voice samples for the opposing fleets either. It's all Karen all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll praise the voice acting in this game a lot, but it's not very varied.
They spent most of their development on making sure the game was awesome.
Which is a good thing. And sadly, not something that happens all that often. It's all style and stuff.
Ready for orders.
But just waiting on that glorious, glorious heavy cruiser.
And watch, you get there and there's two of them.
Ready for orders.
Yeah,
Assignment
this,
received.
if this was a single player mission, I would have chopped this waiting out already.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Fill up the empty space.
Theoretically, at least.
So, about formations. I noticed that... Has anybody found a good use for the line formation aside from maybe flanking?
There's a line formation?
Yeah. It's the one that it comes out with.
Parade formation. Yeah. When they exit hyperspace or when they leave the dock.
Yeah, it's the parade formation or whatever. But there is an actual, it goes line formation, the wall, the sphere, the X, the claw,
Broad.
and
Delta.
Yeah, I mean, line formation I found is good for when you've got like 2 or 3 destroyers and you want them in a line, rather than having a weird little L shape
Mothership.
because you don't have 4 of them for a
Mothership coordinates locked in.
4 of them for a wall.
Reporting for duty. Underway.
That always bothered me whenever I built capital craft. I'd always end up building them in square numbers.
I have no idea why that destroyer is attacking the rock, though.
Cloak
That
generator
rock is a spy.
research. Cloak generator available for
Ah, just working
construction.
on training the crews, Gotta keep your edge.
well, you gotta get that
Very
accountant to
threatening
work
rock.
somehow.
Standing by.
Gotta grind that XP.
That's one thing that I was always kind of curious about. There was no veterans status on the ship.
Acknowledged.
Yep, dump the bid.
That is
Oh,
a lot
wow.
Oh, I love that option.
Oh,
Yep,
it's
for
so
that one
glorious.
glorious moment, all the missiles.
Reporting for duty.
It
Receiving.
just takes a while to restock, though.
Actually, not that long, to be honest. If you're in between fights, it's plenty of time to get between one fight and the next.
Just
one
killing
agile
time until
frigate
the
there.
heavy ships come in, I guess.
Yeah.
The anticipation is killing me.
And then the ship.
Well, and the AI ships too.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a lot of resources left to blow up, though. I mean, I did do a small advantage there. Taking out the enemy collector slowed down their resourcing pretty fast.
Group 2 responding. Destination confirmed.
Oh, hey, looks like there's incoming ships.
Attack clearance received.
Well, while we're quiet, I just want to praise the skyboxes in this game again too. They actually did they got an immense amount of work out of a lot of things that are pretty simple mechanically. I can't help but feel that most of the work had to go into things
And in
like
fact,
ship AI.
We haven't even
and
seen
AI.
what I consider to be the best skybox in the game yet.
What I think is really impressive about the skyboxes is all they really are is gradients across triangles.
And yet they managed to make space
Commencing Corvette drive research.
a pretty empty concept.
Almost done.
Gorgeous.
Almost done. Almost done.
Commencing Corvette drive research. Construction commencing.
And if you lose it, you're gonna be out all those resources. I don't think there's even 7,000 left on the map.
Heavy cruiser complete.
So mechanically, is this ship kind of a god weapon?
Corvette drive research. Light Corvette available.
Or
for
is it just
construction.
a bigger version of everything else?
the destroyer?
It's
But
actually a little bit more than that. It's got
Well, it's
pretty much
got
every weapon now.
2 heavy ion turrets and 6 heavy kinetic cannons.
Group 2 designated.
And
Group
a
2 reassigned.
metric
Group 2
buck
copies.
ton of HP.
Flight pattern to X formation.
Oh yeah.
Ready for
Sorry, you guys are
actually
talking
easy
over
to
each other.
Mechanical
capture
advantage
that
over a couple of destroyers.
reporting.
You go first.
Go ahead.
Cloak generator complete.
No, you, I insist.
Alright, fine. I was going to say that it's actually it's a ship that's actually easier to capture.
No
than it
arguments
is to
there.
kill.
5 or 6.
Just takes, I think, what,
Oh,
6.
hey, we have our first contenders here. Missile destroyer and 2 ion frigates.
Handshake confirmed.
No.
Reporting. Standing by.
They won't last long.
Reporting for duty.
What I was going to ask is
Mothership
what
in
the
position.
mechanical advantage is of having a heavy over, 2 destroyers
Group 2 reporting.
for comparable sort of weapons.
Yes.
Intercept course.
Is the
got
HP pool just that
Slightly
much
less
larger?
than twice the weapons, but the HP is a bit more than twice.
There's the
Group 2
Yeah.
combat stations. Target confirmed.
Just a little bit more than twice.
In our favor.
one thing I like about Homeworld actually that most people don't even think about is the lack
It's
of
all-
actual shields. Every space ports, there are shields in some way or shape. I get that there's a barrier in the next cataclysm, but that's not even actually a shield. It's mostly just a bunch of
But
ships.
the thing about
that's-
shields is that it makes it easy to,
We got contact.
have the bounding spheres on your ships to measure where the hits happen.
Acknowledged. Engaging.
And the missile frigates
Yeah.
going like, yeah, drone frigate, screw you.
Intercept course punched in. Waiting orders.
Wow.
Underway.
Yeah.
Oh, my little friends.
Group 2 responding.
I have to admit the lack of shields does give the
Yeah,
game
because
just
you see all
that
these missiles
slightly
impact
grittier
from that
feel.
destroyer over there, and it's like, yeah, those are actual explosions. Something's actually being hit.
Reporting.
And look at all those missiles that were going
They're just-
after that one drone.
Escort duty
Yeah.
confirmed.
That was actually awesome.
Group 2 copies.
There are many times in this LP where I've instinctively reached for the mouse to turn the camera and wound up frustrated that I
Yeah. God. I keep pausing the
I've
damn
done
video.
that
It's
while
doing
doing
that.
post-processing, setting up the subtitles. It's just a case of, crap, I gotta get a better angle on this. No, this is a recorded video, damn it!
Group 2. Acknowledged.
Gotta say, epic backflip by that particular support frigate though to get over there.
Group 2 reporting.
I
And
was
then it
fully
runs
expecting
away
a
from
collision, to be honest.
we'll be seeing a lot of interesting
Mhm.
ship maneuvers come Cataclysm, though.
Yes,
That
it did.
support frigate
Attention Group 2.
body block some of the missiles? Because I think it did.
Receiving.
Support
They
frigate.
deserve some real commendations, those guys.
Yeah, support frigate's taking one for the team.
Engaging.
Kind of curious why
I
that.
just wonder what form micromanagement would really take in this
Oh.
game.
It's kind of curious why.
To be fair,
Like I
this
said, I
game
never
is
got
good
good at
enough that you don't need to micromanage everything.
Enemy units closing on Group 2.
To an extent, the larger the ship is, the less you have to. It's more like park
Mhm.
it there and make sure it takes. Make sure
It's
that
not like,
actually
you know,
in
the-
range,
Yeah, it's not like, the scouts where you gotta
that it points itself
carefully
right.
micromanage when they do their engine boost as well.
Yeah.
I've never actually put that to use in any game. I've also never fought against a human in a Homeworld,
The
except
scouts
once.
going after the scouts against missile cruisers.
Yeah, the boost
essentially
keeps them ahead of the
scouts because
Mother-
missiles.
Destination confirmed.
the missiles.
Commencing Corvette chassis.
I'll be honest,
Commencing
until this
Corvette
LP, I
chassis
don't think I ever
research.
knew scouts had a special ability.
Commencing Corvette chassis research.
Awaiting assignment.
Like you said, the game is not really structured to make you think about
Yep,
micromanagement,
Just showing
per
off the
se.
cloak a little bit before
So I never
it
tried.
gets
Nice.
around to that in the full game.
Assignment received.
Did you just hit caps lock, or
I
is
hit-
or does the
I
cloak
hit
generator
caps lock
automatically
for that,
bring up
because
that
otherwise you
tactical
don't see
overlay
the
with the
bounding sphere for the cloak.
shapes around the vehicles? Ah. I just now realized that you have not used that in this entire LP so far, and I
it's
always turned it on whenever I
distracting,
play.
I should say, Oh, and there's only 5 drones left there. But I was gonna say, having the caps lock on just doesn't help.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly don't need it, but it's just a case of it's a visual distraction, especially when I just pull back and
Corvette chassis
minimize the
research.
UI.
Salvage Corvette available for construction. Commencing mine laying tech. Commencing mine laying tech research.
Yeah.
Group 2
Most of
acknowledged.
the orders that you do in that sort of thing are
Commencing
Oh.
mine laying tech research.
Throws away.
rather than attack.
Yes, yeah, like
Did the
that
drone
one went
frigates
from
ever
5 to 6.
Replace lost drones?
Very slowly.
Now, the one problem I found with the heavy cruiser is that it's such a whale that it's hard to get all of its guns focused on the target.
Group 2 under attack. Keep one eye on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
It does look cool when it cuts loose, though.
Target confirmed.
I mean,
just
this
love
entire
those-
game, a lot of the ship movement, I had mentioned it before in House Coded, I think they modeled it very directly on undersea movement.
Oh yeah,
not,
it's underwater.
like,
Intercept course punched in.
not actual spatial vacuum
Group 2, where are the
mechanics at all.
It certainly
It all
works
looks
very
underwater.
well.
Group 2, we have incoming.
And the ambience gives the whole thing an underwater feel without it.
Received.
Gives an elegant movement to all the craft as well.
Something I don't think I've Something I don't think I've commented about, but
Time to go after
you know
the
how
toaster.
the bad guys have blue weapons, but the good guys have red weapons?
Standing by.
Yeah, that's actually a thing. Though, if you play as the toaster, you get the blue weapons.
Mine lane tech research complete. Mine layer corvette available for
There's
construction.
my layer.
Oh, good. We needed that.
Locked on target.
No. Well,
Yeah,
actually,
so
correction, they do
mines-
have one use,
Commencing
They're never
fighter
useful,
drive.
are they?
but
Commencing fighter drive research.
that won't be for a while yet. Now, do you guys remember how I
Commencing
screwed up
fighter
earlier
drive
in
research.
this video?
Production underway.
Yeah.
Empty the canisters.
About the fighters.
With the not launching the fighters.
Orders.
As I said, we never see it.
Group 2 copies.
No.
Target confirmed.
I don't think the mines
Fighter
even
drive
stick around
research
indefinitely either. They disappear after a while, so they're pretty much mostly useless. And in the vast,
Situation here.
infinite movement reaches of space,
No.
you can't really force people through choke points very easily.
No.
So mines don't do you a whole lot of
The
good.
only good that mines would be good for is
Mine
mining
layer corvette
resources.
complete.
Also, at that
In the
angle that you had
docking
it there
bay,
for
yeah.
a second, it looked like the missiles were going inside the...
Group 2.
Yes, actually it does. If you direct fire into an open bay like that,
Does
Does
that
it
do
have
more
less
the
damage?
armor
Like,
value is, well, negligible.
Enemy contact. Standing by.
Which is kind of cool.
Reporting for
Actually, what I was trying to do, I was going to try to cloak the mothership, but,
destination.
Mothership.
maybe it's cloaked.
and you can even see now it's got 2 fighters and 1 corvette internally docked. When you click on the mothership there.
Group 2 to combat stations.
Destination locked in.
One of the cool things with a ship is that if you park something right next to it like that, and you build a large ship,
And this is me
it'll
checking,
actually
you know,
push the ship
damn
that
it,
you have
nope.
next to
the mothership is too big to get cloaked.
Group 2 receiving. Group 2 to combat stations.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the Taidan research modules, though. The way those link
Oh,
up
yeah, that's
is
pretty
pretty cool.
Construction commencing.
I mean, we have the pizza.
Wondering where the other one went?
Yeah.
Kushan have the pizza, but they have the little sprocket. Looks like a jacket.
Group 2 under attack.
I was gonna say
Oh yeah,
Pulse
Group 2
Drop
is
2 Jack is
technically under
probably more
attack
accurate.
from the point defense guns on the enemy mothership.
Group 2 acknowledged. Attack clearance received.
Pretty much. And this is me, you know, building another
Mothership.
mine layer going, wait,
May
where
as well be
is
throwing
it?
toothpicks at them.
When is it popping out? Somebody? See,
Mine
it should be
layer
popping out right now. Where is it?
Group 2 reporting enemy contact.
I don't care. I was thinking, well, is it somewhere else or where? What? No.
Oh, it's just
Mothership.
shy.
Yep, 2 fighters and 2 corvettes.
You guys got this. We'll just hang out in the hangar for a while.
Underway. Group 2 responding.
One very on fire.
Doors punched in.
Visual cues.
I forget, is there any way to see enemy health bars, or do you just have to go by the visual cues?
Kaboom!
There she goes.
The end of the brave
Well,
little toaster.
thanks guys for commentating.